Hey, how's it going? Did you know that there's more to cleaning your paintbrushes than just sloshing them around in some water, wiping it off on a paper towel, and then throwing it in a cup or in a little paint rack to dry? People that want to take care of their brushes actually clean them thoroughly. There's a few different ways to clean them, but I'm just going to show you mine. So let's get into that. This is one of my better brushes. The frayed ends on it are pretty much what you're going to get if you just rinse it out with water and let it dry. The second one is pretty abused, and this third one, it's been abused as well and hasn't really been cleaned. But what we want is this nice sharp tip. That's what's going to hold everything together and give us those good details that we want. First thing you're going to need is some soap. I'm going to start with this good brush. This one's been pretty well taken care of, so this one should be pretty easy to get done. I'm going to first start getting it a little bit wet, then I'm going to put it into the soap, and you can see I'm pulling it around in circles. Now, it doesn't matter which way you go, probably should run it counterclockwise for a little while, then go clockwise for a little while. Then you want to pull it and roll it. See how I'm pulling it and rolling it? Just to kind of help massage some of that paint and anything that's in those bristles to get that out of there. Now, what I'm going to do is put a little bit of water on the end of that brush, and I'm going to roll some of that soap onto my palm. Then I'm going to get it just a little bit rinsed down. I'm going to get a little more soap, swirling it around a little bit. That motion is really just going to help work that paint out of there. Then as I'm rolling it like that, I'm gathering up a little more soap to get on the palm of my hand. And I'm going to always be pulling away from the tip of the brush. So even when you're going in circles, I'm not pushing down on my hand really hard, and I'm not rubbing the ferrule on my hand when I've got it vertical like that. I'm just dragging it along in circles, letting it roll off. Now, at this point, I've gone in my circles, and now, as you can see, I'm doing a twisting motion and rolling it into a point. So you can see how it already looks so much better right now, as opposed to when it just looked all fluffy to begin with. Now, this is a trash brush. This one's gonna take a whole lot more work, and I'll be quite honest with you, I don't even know if we can get this one back to even having a point on it at all. This was one of the first brushes. This is one that I had when I very first started out, and I didn't even know about taking care of the brushes. I really thought, at the end of the painting session, just run it in some water. I didn't know if you should store your brushes, with the brush head up or down or whatever, right? Because about the only knowledge I had was from when I was a kid. Now, I worked this one multiple times, probably 4 or 5 times, and noticed that I couldn't get a nice clean point on it. So I'm setting that one to the side, and that one is just going to be kind of a trash brush for anything that I just need to use it as a tool for. Now I'm working on the third brush. This third brush wasn't nearly as abused, but it still looked pretty rough. So we're going to try to get this one worked back. As you can see, I've dipped it in the water, then I went to the soap, just like the first brush. Now I'm rubbing it on my hand. We keep going back and forth, get a little bit more soap, rubbing it in circles. And we're just really trying to get that soap, because that soap's got a conditioner built into it. It's going to help get some flexibility back into the bristles. And as you can see, I actually did a pretty good job of getting a decent point out of it, but it's not quite circular. It's kind of flat. So I'm going to touch it to my finger, and I'm just going to kind of shape the brush back. Now, after doing that, once you can get it back to a point, I'm going to let those dry off to the side like that in a horizontal position. I'm not going to have them facing up or down. I'm going to leave them in a horizontal position, and I'll let that soap help train the bristles into the shape I want them, if you will. Now, once they get done drying, just rinse them out in a cup when you start painting the next go, and that tip should hold. If for some reason it doesn't, just do it again. I've had some brushes that I've had to do this 3, 4, 5 times to get them back into the shape that I wanted. But if you just keep them maintained, then you won't have to worry about that because they'll just stay in the shape until you wear the brush out. The kit that I got the soap in actually came with a set of dry brushes. It's by Artify. I bought it off of Amazon and it wasn't too much. I don't know, it was around 20 to 22 bucks. But it came with the dry brushes, it came with the soap, and it also came with the dampening pad. So that was a cheap, easy way to get a whole lot of things that I needed for my setup. This is the first video of the channel, so I know none of you have subscribed, but I plan to bring up videos that helped me out when I first started in the hobby, and I'd love to be able to share those with anybody else that needs the same kind of help that I did. So it doesn't cost you anything. I'd love it if you hit that button. So that's pretty much it. Keep your brushes taken care of, and it'll definitely help out with all of your painting fun. We'll see you on the next one.